folks. My first guest tonight is an extremely funny human being and is probably best remembered for his 11 years on The Carol Burnett Show. He is now starring in a major motion picture. It's called Long Shot. Please welcome Tim Conway.
Nice to see you. How are you? What?
Nice to see you. Thank you for being on the show.
Met before.
I think we have met one time.
Where? Just in the room?
No, some awards thing. I think we met, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah, I didn't win, and you did, or something like that.
I don't know.
Really annoying. That's right, you did.
Nice
I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Thank you very much for being here.
Go on.
11 years you were with Carol Burnett. Now, you were a regular on the show 6 years?
Yeah.
And then as a guest star?
For the last 4.
Yeah.
No, does that make sense?
Last
that
5.
would only be 10. They owe me for a year.
Yeah.
I better call them up. Yeah, I was almost all 11 years. Yeah.
And you had other shows.
Several. A lot of them, David.
Now, I remember one called, it was a private eye show, which was Ace Crawford.
Ace Crawford, private eye. Then I had 5 shows that were called the Tim Conway Show, because obviously I was the only one in the room when we were voting on a title. And so I named those the Tim Conway Show. Then, of course, Rango, which was very popular.
I'm sorry, Rango?
Rango. You probably didn't see that.
No, I don't know, no.
It was just on a short time. Actually, a guy came down from ABC, vice president, and said, "Don't do this anymore." And that was while we were shooting. He said, "Stop doing that." And then a series of big stuff. Yeah, and then, of course...
What about Turn On?
Turn On is in the Guinness World Book of Records. Yeah, for being the shortest show that was ever on. That started in New York. And as it came across the country, it was being canceled. And actually, in Cleveland, they actually turned it off and went to a slide and called out an organ player who hadn't played in many years, and he played for 15 minutes over a slide.
So it was actually like a funeral procession traveling coast to coast.
Traveling right across.
Just the last viewing of the body as it went westward.
And it looked good in the coffin as it came across. They had a premiere party in Los Angeles. George Slaughter did it.
What was Turn On? Tell us about the show. It sounded like it was something for the kids.
Oh, it's hysterical. Yeah. As I look back, I don't know what it was. It was certainly confusing, basically, and it had a strange sound running through it, but it was a little ahead of its time.
It had a strange sound running through it.
People talking. And me. And it went off, but they had the premiere party was out there, and by the time it came out there, it was canceled. So it was very economical because we had the cancellation party right there along with the premiere party. Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
Well, these things happen.
Yeah,
you know.
they certainly do. I've lost a couple.
No, you haven't.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How did you, when they come down and cancel it, did you find out from a stagehand or something? How did you
Well, no, I actually have a great story about how I used to do a morning show on this network in the same room, as a matter of fact, pretty much this show, by the way. I have a great story about that, but I don't want to take up your time. Now,
I'm not going anywhere, honestly. I have no friends or anything here in this city. I don't know anybody or anything. Could you tell me after the show?
I'll tell you
we could get together afterwards?
Yeah. Now, you started working in Cleveland on television.
I was a director.
Yeah.
Yeah, and very important.
And what is Cleveland like?
Cleveland is real good. You know, people always say, why do you make fun of Cleveland? And then Cleveland, once a year, will run an article and say why people make fun of it, and which kind of renews our acquaintances with Cleveland and why people do make fun of it. They're the only city that actually had a river that caught on fire and burned for 3 days.
Now, because of a lot of petroleum?
A lot of petroleum waste on the thing, and a guy calls up. I don't know how a fire department would take news like that. Hello, your river's on fire. And they had to go down and try to put it out. What do you put on a river? You know, water. So for 3 days, they're out there. And finally, I guess somebody suggested baking soda or something like that, and out it went.
And what else? What else
well,
distinguishes Cleveland in this category?
They had a little contest where if you, they were dropping baseballs off the terminal tower and said if you caught, you know, a red one, you get a season's pass to the Indians.
How tall is the terminal tower? I
believe it's somewhere in the 70 stories or something like that. So the baseball, they figured, was doing about 1,800 miles an hour when it hit. Yeah, a lady had a shoulder gone, and a guy, you know, I got it. Oh, boy. And a car went through a roof and everything. But, you you know, that's Cleveland for you.
1,800 miles an hour.
Yeah, they also rented, one year I was in a parade, and they rented from Detroit had a Thanksgiving parade, but they were going to rent those helium balloons that
Sure.
come down there.
The cartoon balloons.
Yeah, funny parade and everything. And we had Bullwinkle and everything, and they blew them all up, and the parade was ready to go. And they started walking, and they just figured out then that the street lights are hung across the street.
Oh, suspended. Yeah.
So the guy went, whoa, I can't get him through here. So they said, okay, stop. They stopped the parade, and they let most of the air out of the balloons. So they kind of just dragged him down the street. Going down this little Bullwinkle, just being dragged under the lights like that.
But festive nonetheless, I'm guessing.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But it's a great town. I love it. But see, that they have a great sense of humor there. They take that all in fine spirit, and I'll get a letter tomorrow.
Now, we're going to talk about this movie, The Long Shot. Now, is this a good film? We're going to do a commercial. When we come back, we're going to see you brought some film from it.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
All right, we'll take a look at that. We'll be back here in a minute, folks, with Tim Conway. Is here, and Sam Kinison, Manute Ball. Have you ever seen Sam Kinison or Manute Ball?
I've seen Manute Ball.
Yeah, he's a very impressive gentleman, isn't he?
You're not kidding.
Yeah.
Yes. Whoa.
Yeah.
Hello.
And Sam Kinison is very funny.
Is he?
Oh, it's terrific.
I don't believe I have.
All right.
Well, I will, though.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be here.
You're going to be right here,
yeah,
unless,
well,
of course...
where would I go?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to leave early. That would be rude.
No, it would not only be rude, but I have no place to go, as I told you, except maybe to take a TWA flight somewhere, and then... Where would I go, though? You know,
well, I know a hotel in Miami.
Really? Perhaps they would send me down
Watch
there.
out for those chairs, because they will knock you unconscious. Yeah. It's a design flaw in those chairs.
I understand.
You would think that a chair is one of the simplest pieces of furniture once they came up with a basic configuration.
That's true. I mean, you only put part of your body in it. I mean, it's not like a whole thing. You don't have to worry about the back or anything.
Oh, yeah.
You call it a stool. It's good.
Yeah, stool's a whole different category.
Well, that's
really
different because then you're taller.
Now, this movie, The Long Shot.
Yeah.
Now, is it a funny movie?
Not necessarily. No. It's supposed to be, but it's not necessarily. Yeah. We've had a lot of people look at it and go, no, it's supposed to be, yeah.
Who's in the movie with you?
Well,
You're the star of the film.
Well, not really. No, I tried to be, but I'm not. No, Harvey Korman's in it. I didn't want him to be in it, but he had his own wardrobe, you know, murdered. Jack Weston, who lives here in New York, and Ted Wass, Ann Mayer, Jonathan Winters, and just a whole bunch of silly people.
All right, let's take a look now at a couple of minutes from the motion picture starring Tim Conway entitled The Long Shot. Do you want to set this up, as they say on TV?
No.
All right, let it roll. So it's kind of a Noel Coward kind of thing.
Coward. It's a little bit of Shakespeare, a lot of Plato and Aristotle and things like that, with great psychological overtones and interwoven dialectics, and everything are right in there. Yeah, no question about that.
Is it doing business, the film?
We only have the one print, unfortunately. And that's here tonight, so I got to rush this right out.
You got to get it.
Yeah, I can't
get it downtown. Sure, people will be waiting on it.
Yeah. So we take it house to house, which is even better than you
don't get that kind of service these days. No.
And that's how you assure your money. You get in there with 6 people who are having dinner, and then you show the film. And you're sure that you got $1.50 a head there.
That's right. Yeah. And afterwards, probably a Q&A session with you.
Oh, yeah, sure. And I stack around sometimes for a week at people's houses, so until I can get a TWA flight out. And,
All right. It's the name of the movie is called The Long Shot.
Right.
And it looks very funny from what we've seen here.
Well, that's the funniest part of it. The rest of it.
No. Listen. Now we have to move on, but you're certainly welcome to stay and take a look at these other guests.
Well, I would sure love to.
Okay.
Yeah, I have nowhere to go, really. I'm seriously in town here.
Tim Conway, folks.